Fans of Chrisley Knows Best have watched Todd Chrisley's son Chase grow up right in front of their eyes. But not everything about this reality star has made the air. While you might think you know this family inside and out, these are the fun facts about Chase that you might have missed. Chase Chrisley isn't just popular among fans, he's popular among his own family members as well. That is, of course, if you ask him.
It takes a lot to be the favorite child, and you start with less body hair.
Clearly.
Fans know that pretty much every member of the Chrisley family was seemingly born with an extra dose of sass. From patriarch Todd to his wife Julie and their kids Savannah, Chase, and Grayson, the family definitely isn't short on attitude or wit. And this is especially true for Chase. In his biography from the USA Network, the star is described as a mini version of Todd, who prides himself on being the favorite child. Chase is always trying to outsmart his dad. That said, on one episode of Chrisley Knows Best, Todd even admitted to favoring Chase, though he claimed it was only because Savannah had moved out.
Finally, I'm going to be the golden child, which means I'm going to be the one getting all the perks, the free stuff, the special treatment. I mean, it's my time to shine.
Regardless of what his family might think, it's clear that Chase has enough confidence to last a lifetime. It appears Chase isn't exactly a big fan of the outdoors, as evidenced by some hilarious scenarios on the show. One of the funniest moments took place in Season 2 when the men of the family went on a camping trip at the bequest of youngest son Grayson. As USA Network noted, the trip proved just how much of an indoorsy guy Chase really is, as well as his dad. In fact, the episode calls both Todd and Chase, quote, "so city it hurts."
Grayson, you're now out in the woods, so we'll be here for like 10 minutes. You'll have had enough and we'll go home.
Fans watched as the Chrisley trio didn't even sleep in a tent, but rented an RV instead. Can you say glamping much? Even though Chase is from the South, he's obviously a total city boy at heart. Still, to his credit, he did attempt to rough it with his friend on an episode of his spinoff show, Up Chrisley. Needless to say, that didn't go well either.
How are we gonna fit a tent in here?
I don't know, but they have the things where you can drink out of them, and I don't like that.
He might have been born into a wealthy family who eventually landed a hit reality TV show, but that doesn't mean Chase doesn't have goals of his own. Specifically, he has a pretty big dream to make it in Hollywood as an actor. In fact, this pursuit was a pivotal plot point on the first season of Growing Up Chrisley. In an interview with People, sister Savannah explained what fans could expect from the 2019 series. Touching on her big brother's Hollywood hopes, she revealed, "Chase is pursuing his dream of acting, and I am taking the beauty world by storm."
Do you think Clooney just blew up overnight?
Chase quickly realized his goal would be harder to achieve than he had ever imagined. He later admitted to Us Weekly, "Acting is what I spent the majority of my 3 months on. I loved it, but it was way more work than I thought it was going to be." As is the case with most reality show homes, the Chrisley residence always appears to be in tip-top shape on Chrisley Knows Best. But apparently, Chase doesn't have anything to do with that tidiness, at least according to Savannah. Chase revealed that his messy nature even got under his sister's skin when they first moved to LA together, telling Us Weekly, "Savannah got on to me more than my mom ever has."
She is the best roommate.
No, he's the worst roommate.
Savannah confirmed her brother's bad lifestyle habits, telling the outlet, "Chase doesn't do laundry. He leaves stuff out and he has all these random people back at the house." She also revealed that Chase would use up all his clean towels and then try to take Savannah's when he inevitably ran out of his own. According to the siblings, the situation reached a point where Savannah had to lock her door just so Chase wouldn't take her towels.
Where are the towels?
I don't know. I didn't do any laundry.
Just go steal some from Savannah.
He might come from a wealthy family, but being worth a lot of money doesn't mean Chase has never had to worry about his finances. If you've followed the Chrisley family over the years, you know that they've had to deal with some pretty bad press, especially when it comes to money. In 2019, Todd and Julie were indicted by a grand jury over financial crimes involving tax evasion, as well as other fraud-related issues, according to E! News. But the family's financial problems didn't end there. And Chase also found himself immersed in some hot water around his cash flow.
I don't want to spend hard-earned money.
So I want to know what money you get that's easy.
According to the outlet, the IRS had actually filed a federal tax lien against Chase, citing an unpaid balance of nearly $17,000, which he reportedly owed from 2014. But it looks like things have taken a positive turn for the star. According to The Blast, Chase has since paid off that balance in full. Most parents probably wouldn't love it if their kid got a tattoo, especially while they still lived under their parents' roof. So when Chase got inked in 2016, before he was fully moved out of his parents' home, his dad was not impressed.
He was raised better.
Was I?
As TMZ reported, Chase had originally gotten a tattoo on his ribs of a Bible verse, John 3:16 to be exact. And even though it was a Christian tattoo, his father was livid.
Mama, this is a man-to-man conversation.
Then we one man short.
According to the outlet, Todd was so annoyed with his son that he actually offered to gift him a Range Rover in exchange for Chase getting the tattoo removed. Chase took his father up on the offer, but as he told the Daily Mail, there was a more meaningful reason behind his decision. He said, "The reason I got it taken off is I saw how disappointed my parents were, and I was just like, you know what, if it will make them happy, I'll get it taken off." But, bonus that it also came with a Range Rover. One of the sweetest storylines of the series is watching the relationship Chase has with his grandma, Nanny Faye, grow even deeper and crazier. Faye, who is Todd's mother, is quite the character by herself, but when she and Chase get together, the two totally wreak havoc on their other family members and get a good laugh for themselves.
Family don't matter when you're gambling.
The special relationship holds up off-screen, too. In 2019, Chase took to Instagram to wish Faye a happy birthday, and his message was seriously heartwarming. He wrote, "Happy birthday to this beautiful soul. I love you so much and can't wait to get into more with you." Months later in 2020, Chase posted another sweet pic with Nanny Faye, captioning the snap, "Missing my partner in crime right about now." This Chrisley kid knows he'll never be too old to want to spend a day with Nanny Faye. Chrisley Knows Best premiered in 2014, and ever since, the Chrisley family has spent a solid chunk of their lives allowing cameras to peek behind the scenes. For Chase, who was in his early teens when the show first aired, the series has definitely changed his life. But the show also altered how he experienced his teenage years.
Daddy?
Yes?
What's on my car?
It's a gift that I left for you.
Huh.
Chase revealed to People magazine in July 2020, "It definitely changed our lives entirely. It forced us to grow up fast. I know I've made my fair share of mistakes, and learning how to bounce back and just grow from each mistake, it's a little bit different because every time we screw up, it's in the public eye." Though Chase claims he's still trying to find his way in the world, there are some things he doesn't seem to need any help with, specifically his love life. And by all accounts, it appears he always has a girlfriend. In July 2020, he made his relationship with Emmy Metters social media official via Instagram and captioned it with a heart emoji. But that was far from being his only public pairing.
You have a pretty smile.
Thank you. So do y'all. All of y'all. And you.
The reality star has actually had quite a few relationships that he's shared with his fans. But along with the buzz of new love, he's also experienced his fair share of relationship drama. Chase publicly dated 3 women before making his relationship with Metters official. First, there was Brooke Norrie, who Country Living reports Dad Todd did not approve of. So when Chase got together with his next girlfriend, Lindsay Merrick, it's safe to say Todd was happier. Still, things with Merrick didn't work out, and the star soon started dating Kayla Puzas, which didn't last either.
I remember my friends always being like, "Oh God, here comes Chase. Everyone, turn your backs."
Really?
Chase may know how to spend money a little too well, but he apparently also knows how to get creative when bringing it in. Considering both Todd and Julie come from humble backgrounds, Chase has learned a thing or two about hard work being the key to success. However, on season 4 of Chrisley Knows Best, he came pretty close to doing something he might have later regretted when he thought of a creative way to make money.
I'm considering donating sperm. They pay you.
Shut the hell up.
In a blog for the USA Network, Todd hilariously ranted about his son's antics, writing, "Now if we could just get Chase to live in a big plastic bubble, then we wouldn't have to worry about him making sperm donations all over town." Listen, I appreciate Chase's desire to make some money for his grown self, and we all know where his expensive taste comes from, but not like that. I don't even want to think about what kind of liability that would cause. While he might be a Georgia guy, Chase has a special place in his heart for sunny California. Fans of Chrisley Knows Best were ecstatic when Chase and Savannah launched their own spin-off reality series, Growing Up Chrisley, which followed the two siblings as they made their way to California to pursue their lofty dreams. But it was clear from the show that settling down in Tinseltown was something Chase would totally be up to do. He told UPI, "I would live out in LA and never move anywhere else." Savannah, on the other hand, got homesick about 3 days into it.
This house is really nice. I mean, Daddy did take care of us.
I wish he'd take care of us a little longer.
While it seems Savannah might not exactly be built for that LA life, Chase certainly feels a California calling, especially when it comes to the Hollywood nightlife. Savannah revealed to Access Live, "Chase loves the scene, and I like staying at home watching Law & Order." While most of the Chrisley family seems very close, Savannah and Chase seem to share a particularly special connection. Whether it's due to starring on a reality show together for so many of their formative years, or the fact that they were born only a year apart, the two certainly appear to be best friends. And as close siblings often do, they lean on and support each other during hard times. According to Yahoo, shortly after their parents were charged with fraud, Savannah posted a photo with Chase writing, "I don't need a superhero, I have a big brother." As E! News reported, one episode of Chrisley Knows Best saw Savannah tell Chase about her decision to call off her wedding to Nick Cardelis before she even told her own father.
I love Nick and I care about Nick.
Are you in love with Nick?
And that's what we're trying to figure out.
Obviously, Chase and Savannah are the true dynamic duo of the series. Though Chase has been incredibly wealthy for the majority of his life, thanks to his parents, the Chrisley Knows Best star still seems to want to make it on his own. And that led him to launch a candle business in 2018. The reality star teased his new company that year, following an episode of Chrisley Knows Best, tweeting, "Everyone knows I love candles. Candles by Chrisley on the way."
It's amazing. It smells so good.
Hey, something's wrong with you.
I have a passion for them.
For the record, Candles by Chrisley ultimately was not the final name for the product. On an episode of Growing Up Chrisley, Chase proudly showed off his new line to his sister, along with its new name. Chase's candles sport a classy-looking label that reads, "The Chrisley Collection." While his sister was immediately impressed by the final product, it seems the rest of his team might need a little convincing.
I love a candle.
I really don't like candles, but I got your back though.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite reality TV celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.